Well, hello there, Applebites. This is your Applebite Written Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ, a show where you and you get creative, have fun, and geek out. So I hope you guys are ready to be all gobble, 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 because it is Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we will be doing our special Thanksgiving geek out.
You guys.
I don't know. I hope that you guys are all ready to eat all that turkey. And well, for me, it's pernil, but
For me too.
I'm looking forward for that pernil because it's good.
Dude, it's gonna be a little different in my house because I can't salt anything. It'll be totally different this year than it's ever been. I figure I'm gonna sit there and eat what I can eat, and just everybody else is gonna have to have the salt shaker.
So that's how it is, though. The older we get, the more we got to watch things.
No, when you survive a stroke, you can't have anything.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. We gotta take care of ourselves, folks.
Yep, herbs will only cover so much.
Yeah, but at least changing things does help out a lot, especially when you start to lose the weight, and it makes it easier to keep yourself.
Oh, that's true. But I entirely will try tomorrow to drown myself in mashed potatoes and my wife's coconut pie.
You can indulge in sweet potatoes. You can indulge in onions, roasted onions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a nice variety if you really put your mind to it.
Yeah,
a little bit of turkey, just not the dark meat. That's about it. I can make a recipe.
How you doing?
How you doing?
It's so funny because Dash was just doing his live show, and he's here saying hi now.
Hey, Dash.
Priorities, man.
Oh man. Oh, folks. So what's Thanksgiving looking for you guys?
Small.
Yeah, smaller than usual, man. I'm gonna be cooking it this year, so that'll be cool.
Ooh.
I've never got to do turkey before, so hoping I don't mess it up too bad.
You never done turkey? Well, I guess you usually somebody else is cooking. Turkey's an interesting bird to cook.
I've never gotten to do the Thanksgiving turkey, so I hope everyone's ready for whatever I come up with. I'm thinking like Chinese food stuffing and wrapped in bacon.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Like I said, usually we don't have the turkey over with where we are.
My wife has volunteered to cook this year because I've always cooked.
Ooh,
so I am.
Nice.
And as I was saying, I was talking to a friend yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, but this morning felt like yesterday because I had a nap. It's just going to be the four of us, my wife and my two children, and two different uncles. One uncle from Poland who doesn't speak English or barely speaks English, and my uncle, who's my children's great uncle. And when I was telling this friend, I said, well, in movies, if a single man shows up in the scene, it's usually a bad omen. So what's going to happen if two single men are in the house who can't even communicate?
Well, either they'll get into a drunken fist fight or they'll bond and teach your children how to light fireworks on Thanksgiving.
I hope it's the latter. I do hope it's the latter.
That is kind of the obligation of the foreign. You got to teach them something cool.
Yeah.
Well, they do equals explosives.
Yeah.
Exactly. With explosives and fire, of course.
Sometimes the cooking the turkey makes fireworks happen.
This is true. Or if someone throws some metal in the microwave.
Oh, dude, have you seen when somebody tries to fry a turkey?
Well, it's fry a frozen turkey.
Yeah.
If it's thawed, it doesn't do that. But if you throw a frozen turkey in there, all the water gets to the temperature to escape at the same time, and it explodes. It's fantastic to see.
I love it.
on a video.
Yes.
I fried 3 turkeys once. At the same.
Whoa.
It was, yeah, I had to do it for had a big family, so one guy wanted to have fried turkey, and so they brought their turkeys, and I had the fryer, so I fried 2 of them, and I ate one. I gave one away, and I gave one, because and then when I the first 2 turned out okay, but the last one was perfection. So I was like, I don't want to give the last one away, so this stays the home. And I gave the 2 away. But usually I cook on Thanksgiving. This Thanksgiving, we're just gonna restaurant it this year. Like, I don't know, maybe.
I forget, Andrew, that you are a cook.
Yeah. So I'm always stuck cooking.
That's true.
My mom's a great cook until I graduated from school from culinary restaurants. She's like, your turn. And it's been like 2 decades, my turn ever since.
Oh my God.
That's completely true. I was a cook for 8 years, and I have cooked. I cook constantly because of that, and I can't even remember the last time that my sisters or somebody cooked the turkey.
I screw up once in the kitchen. Aren't you a cook? I was like, I can't bet like 100% all the time.
Exactly.
That's why I tell nobody I'm a cook. Nobody, I am a cook.
Yeah, no one remembers the
information is offered against my will. My son's a fantastic cook. I was like, Mom, thank you. Like, he can cook for you. I was like, thanks, Mom.
Oh my God.
I have all these aunties and nieces, and it's me.
Isn't that how
I have uncles, but they don't cook. But, uncles and all, like, well, he's the one who wanted to cook. I'm like,
oh, and they always do that. Well, you're the cook. You're the one that wanted to cook. I'm like, leave me alone.
Hey man, you got those great powers. You got to put them to use.
Mm-hmm.
yes, but I think 1 year I wanted a vacation. I think it has to be 1 hour. You'll have to kick Christmas too. Like,
you can just call DoorDash for that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna. Next time they go, hey, Ralph, cook. I'm gonna bring in a side cook and be like, ha.
You go DoorDash and KFC.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I just pop over to Popeyes, you think anyone's gonna notice?
Popeyes has a turkey dish, right?
Yeah.
Just for Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah, Boston Market though. Yeah, Boston Market as well. They turn their arm and a leg because they know,
Every Boston Market near me is closed.
I know.
Like out of business, closed.
I got one left next to me.
I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, one left next to me.
Yeah, there
used to be so many all over the place.
They're blackened. They're black.
Damn.
Out.
All right, folks. Let's kick this off with the Kickstarter, because I always like kicking it off with the Kickstarter because it gives the Kickstarter more time to marinate as we talk and geek out. So James, tell the people all the good stuff. Give them the spiel.
The spiel. The Ballad Nod is about a young girl who is grieving the loss of her father. And she ends up in battle with basically all those feelings that attracts demons and other things from the land of Nod coming after her. But she's defended by a teddy bear named Patches, who basically sends up for her until one night the Prince of the Dreamlands, the biggest, baddest nightmare there is, decides he's going to take that run off. Inside of the Dreamlands, she has to face him, and nightmares on their terms to get him back. So this is a story about a little girl finding her courage while her life is filled with grief.
I gotta say, I know we talked about this in the chat, but I like the concept of, you sit there going, oh, the bear's going to do this and the bear's going to do that. But then you kind of flip it around and you have the kid being the one who has to rescue the bear.
Yeah. The story is based on my daughter and I trying to talk about my grief when I lost my father. In a space of a year, I went through cancer therapy and had to survive it and stage 4. Then I lost my mom. Then I lost both my grandfathers. Then I lost my father, all in
Whoa.
the space of about a year. It was a very trying time. And I had this beautiful little toddler, and she didn't understand it. So the reason why I flipped it is the story. We don't have enough stories in our lives about the kids being where the courage comes from. And
Yeah.
I grew up with stories like Never Ending Story and The Goonies
Yeah.
and things like that. And they're kind of missing right now. I mean, you run across them, they are there.
And
I
if they
mean, there's
remake,
things like
and if they remake them, they actually change the narrative back to
Yeah.
something more. Yeah,
exactly. So we're really big fans of Hilda, and I started telling her bedtime stories, and the bedtime stories turned into this story, which is a little girl just like her that was inspired by the teddy bear and things like that. She actually has a patches, the original patches. She has a
Nice.
teddy bear
cool.
with an amazing story. I bought the bear for my wife at a hospital when my wife was recovering from the surgery years ago, like like years before my daughter was born.
Mm.
I found him on the shelf in a gift store that was closing. And then when I I bought him, my wife, she held on to him for a day or two while she was recovering. And then she put him on a shelf at her sister's house. 3 years later, my daughter found that bear and it became her best friend. And she took it everywhere with her, and she still has it to this day. She's much older now, but I wanted the story to show people how to find the courage inside of them, how to be able to know inside of them where it comes from, and if they dig deep, that it's there. So in the story, this grieving girl, she's trying to make decisions. She's scared to death by the demons that are there, and she remembers the interactions with her father. And so a lot of strength for me comes from the lessons my parents gave me before they passed. And I wanted to share that same kind of feeling with her, and I wanted her to remember that. So it happens inside the story.
I love that. I love when we take what we know and we make it into the story, and I feel like a lot of people who sit there with write what you know don't really understand it. They look at it as something else than more than you're writing what you know, what you've been through, what you've gone through, and it's also write what you know, write while what you've researched, what you've gotten to know, what you've gotten. It's a bigger thing, and it always bugs me out when people just try to narrow it down into this little thing.
Yeah, the emotions carry with a certain amount of energy, and when you're looking for the truth behind a story, the truth behind something you've been through, it's really important to carry that over.
Yeah.
And a lot of people miss it and they try to go for flash. Yeah, I kind of went the other way around. I went after the emotion and I let people find the flash on their own. There's tons of scenes in the book that is well, it's basically inspired on the experiences of what I went through inside the hospital. You watch her dad go through chemo and how hard it is in the book,
Mm-hmm.
in pieces of it, and her talking to him and learning from him while he's doing that. It's a chance to understand a little bit more about situations like that, and in a place where you can teach people about it instead of it just being there because of the story. It's there because there was a reason, something she can learn from it. It's not just, I need to make everybody who reads it sad. And some writers, they only go for that flash, that moment where they try to dig down into that. But my co-writer is my sister. every word she looks at and approves or changes, and she does a lot of work. She's a poet, and she's very good at dialogue and very good with things like emotions. Every character is a sarcastic jerk in my hearing, in my head, but she's really good about trying to make sure their voices stay true to them. So because of that, and because she's so close with my daughter, and because she's so close with me, she really keeps me on point as it goes through. I give her a lot of props for that. So it's definitely a boon having access to her mind and her talent.
I love the fact that you've made this into like a family affair, working it out. And this story feels so passionate, so involved. You know, you can feel the heart to it.
That's a huge compliment, and it's exactly what I'm going. And the way I try to think about it when I write it is that I walked into a comic shop when I was old, lonely as hell, not understanding that there's other creators and other stories and other things out there. All I ever knew was like Spider-Man and the Hulk and things, and they
Yeah.
were there, but I didn't really connect with them. And then one day I Kevin Eastman book and realized somebody draws like me, and it, and then I picked up James O'Barr's The Crow, and I started understanding there's people out there with that are angry and passionate and all these other things, and that's what it is. I want some lonely 12-year-old kid to find that book and find what I found, a beautiful story that's meant to not only entertain but inspire.
Yeah, this has
Awesome,
the
man.
feel of both those books. So, you know, and it's an amazing little thing too, because it's a teddy bear book, but at the same time it has gravitas and this darkness with light in it, which is hard to pull off. You know, because most people who do dark go dark. They don't balance it out with light.
That's true. There's things out there like The Boys, which I can't even pick up one issue and read it. I don't. Things where stories have a whole bunch of grossness in the humanity, the darkest, most horrible parts. They do exist, but if you don't counterbalance that with the light of the character, of somebody in it that shows humanity at its best, then there's nothing to aspire to. And I don't want to read or experience a violence that doesn't have purpose. Anything that doesn't reach down and lift you up at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. There are books out there that are very much more graphic about their violence. And I mean, come on, I have a teddy bear fighting a demon. But if it doesn't show like her rising up from it, there's my point. It lessens the battle.
Yeah.
It lessens the fight. A fight without showing why they're fighting and what really matters. It doesn't have the same impact. And once you're a person who's felt the serious weight of mortality, you can't write stories anymore about frivolous things. They don't matter as much. But it matters about what your kids think and where they go and like how they're developing their perspective.
Yeah.
And beautiful books, things that are written with that perspective, things like Mouths, have that. They have that weight. You can feel it when you pick it up. But if you pick up like the latest Spider-Gwen book, you can feel all the work that went into it. You can feel all of that, but the writing doesn't have that same texture.
And it's funny that you say that, especially with the Spider Verse, because Spider-Man started off with that darkness that shows light.
It did for me.
It was a balance. Yeah.
I started reading Spider-Man, I think, I really got heavily into it, like right before McFarlane got the Spider-Man title. And then when McFarlane got the Spider-Man title, it got very dark. And so, like, it never felt like it ever went back there the same way. And in there, it wasn't about the darkness. The city was dark, but his actions weren't. And his suffering and his force of character was always about trying to rise above it, but the environment itself was always pushing him down. And
Spider-Man in a nutshell.
yeah, that I think is missing from a lot of books. Some of them have it. It is, but I really wanted to emphasize it.
Oh, I get you, because even Spider-Man is kind of missing that. I feel like they feel like punishing Peter and Spider are what we want, but that's not what we want. The concept of Peter always being able to bring himself above what's holding him down.
Yeah, like Marvel has that rule where he's not allowed to be back together with Mary Jane, and that rule's been it's been in place now for 30 years.
Yeah.
And yet the story all the fans want is the alternate world where he has a daughter with Mary Jane, and we want.
Which is funny because and they don't care though, because the other book in that other universe is selling really well. People are buying it. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to aspire to something. I want that, and I don't know. A lot of the mainstream books that I used to read as a kid, they were inspiring them, but they don't inspire me now.
I agree. So, folks, let's go to the videotape and show some of this off. Here we go.
Ladies and jelly beans, my name is Kira Burton, published poet, and this is my big brother James, and we are the writers of the Ballad of Nod. Over the years, James and I have lost a lot of people, including nearly ourselves when James was battling cancer. As a result, when James was trying to process and explain these emotions to his young daughter Camille, he was inspired to write a story that would help them both. What resulted was the Ballad of Nod, a story that's a little bit Alice in Wonderland, a little bit Coraline, and all magic, where a grieving young girl learns to face her nightmares on their terms, deep in an ethereal dreamland where she has to learn to defend what she loves the most. We are here to fund our Kickstarter so we can get our book to print, but more importantly, get a beautiful story to a child who needs it. Monsters always come, but never underestimate a girl and her teddy bear.
Love that.
I have a T-shirt that says that, but I didn't. I put a different one on.
That sounds like a good T-shirt to me.
It is.
So, folks, I put the link into the comment section there below so you guys can go check it out, because I don't want to hear my friend go, Ralph, you didn't put the link in the comment section. I'm not going to go look for it.
Yeah, you don't want to make
there. Go check it out. This looks amazing.
I just copied the link into. I'll be visiting. It's great.
Thanks.
I figured it would hit you too, Cliff. And it's funny, this theme here where the light and the darkness, because it's the same thing you're doing with your your story as well is that you're trying to bring the light and the darkness together.
Are we talking Christmas or are we talking?
Oh, we're talking Christmas because
Okay.
I got the link for
there.
Christmas here.
Yeah,
We can talk the other one in a minute, but I got the link for Christmas here. So
That's okay. It's okay.
Christmas is the light in winter, so it works.
This is true. This is true. And
Exactly.
my Santa is certainly battling these same demons.
oh, definitely. Go ahead,
But
tell
it's
the people all the good stuff. Go for it.
Yeah, no, but I just was going to comment on James's book a little bit
Oh,
because
go for it. Yeah,
I
you
sent
do
you
that.
that link, Ralph, which I thought might have been a scam because my niece had just is a survivor. She's 18,
Oh,
and she was doing a fundraiser. She lives in France, and she was doing a fundraiser for the children's hospital that she was in, and so I just kind of sent it around. I wasn't like, I just said, well, I'm going to send it around to people I know, the link. And I sent it over to Ralph. And first he's like, hey, did somebody hack your Instagram?
oh, because I get
said, no, it's
Yeah.
it's real. It's legit. But I have a young daughter right now myself, who just turned 7. So I get it emotionally. And I'm not the youngest of dads either. So yeah, it's it definitely just from what I was seeing. So I'll be paying that site a visit, James.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and this is exactly that's the kind of person it was written for. Your daughter, your niece, like everybody gets scared when something happens, and they deserve to have a story that tells them, that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and she's such a trooper. It's like, wow. I mean, I was in Paris. She was diagnosed in April, and she had 6 months of therapy ahead of her. She's 18. She got into architecture school, which they allowed her to defer it. She's going to go to Cambridge for architecture.
Wow.
Yeah, and but she's an amazing artist also. I don't know, Ralph, did I send you that picture? Maybe not. But she did a self-portrait of herself when she was 16. It's like,
okay, no, I don't think you sent me that picture. No.
Yeah, it's just astounding. But yeah, and now so just at the end of her treatment, because basically she's in best case scenario. She's in best case scenario world. She just sent that around and just thanking,
Yeah, that's a good place to be.
Yeah,
but it's so scary when you're going through it.
Yeah. And when I was in France, she's a beautiful girl. And when I was in France, she had no hair. It's like, but she's just awesome, and I'm just so proud of her. And, so as I said to Ralph in my little note, that's what I'm thankful for. People be thankful for a lot of things, but my niece's health, and I got a little note from my sister today that they're just, because I sent over some money to support the campaign, and they were just, just so happy that I reached out and did it. And
if you have the link, I'll show them exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do. Let me see if
I'm looking for it on my end, and I forgot where you sent it to me.
I sent it to a friend of mine today or yesterday. Let me see. I can put it up.
I have so many social medias, and Cliff is talking to me on I think all of them.
And Clifford, message me after this if your niece is going through that. I'll send her a patches, like a sketch of him to lighten. Even if when you're stuck in therapy, even if you get something like that, even it helps. Even just
she would just love it, boy.
Yeah.
Well, here's it's in the private chat, Ralph.
Right,
So for some reason I can't get into the other one.
Here's
the link. It's all in French, but actually her introduction is not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll share this.
Yeah. That's it.
There it goes. All right, let's see. All right. There you go. Right there.
That's it. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
about to read it, but I think it comes better if you read it.
Yes. Okay. So I'm Catherine Schultes, and in April of 2025, I was diagnosed with cancer. Now, at the end of treatment, I'd like to give back to the hospital that saved my life. Rhabdomyosarcoma affects 1 in 170,000 people every year. The rarity of this diagnosis should have made it difficult to find a community that understood me. It did not. The doctors, nurses, and patients at the Curie Institute, specifically AJA, the section for adolescents and young adults, have been an unexpected source of joy, laughter, and belonging in a situation most cannot begin to fathom. Despite the difficult nature of their job, my medical team is always smiling. Our corner of the hospital, at only about 10 rooms, is always alive with card games, crepe making, art classes, etc. The money from this fundraiser will be sent specifically to AJA, whose small size means they don't benefit much from donations to the hospital as a whole. Sadly, there will surely be another teenager who receives a life-changing diagnosis. I'd like to ensure they get the best Curie has to offer. Your donation will help AJA to continue to deliver the warmth, love, and life-saving treatment they specialize in. Thank you. Yeah, and so that's her playing it, paying it forward.
That's what we had to do, man. Like,
Yeah.
we really have to pay it forward.
Exactly. So here it is on the Thanksgiving show, Ralph. Thanks for posting that. And
it's always funny to me how this stuff works out, because usually I don't come in going, okay, this is how it's going to do, but everything starts to mold and flesh into each other. And if we're looking for reasons to be thankful, folks, you just seen a couple of them.
Yeah, for sure. And she would love that, James. And I'm going to send you when we're in touch off site. I'll get your address. I'll send you a couple of books too, myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Cliff's a great guy, and I love his story. I love his writing. Tell him a little bit about the Santa universe. Go for it.
The Santa universe. Well, why don't we do this?
Santaverse.
The Santaverse.
There you go.
Why don't you play something, Ralph? Play something off the gram, just to sort of wet my whistle. Is it
off the Instagram? Hold on.
It's funny. I was putting up.
No Armageddon, please.
I was putting up some posts, and one of them is about Christmas in July, and Santa, like. So I think there's a video. There's one of the videos there. That would be a good one to talk about. It's funny because I was talking to my son, Ralph. We're gonna have my son on at some point because he's making his own comic books now, and they're funny as hell.
Dude, yeah, bring him on.
Yeah,
he's already been on the show a couple times.
Yeah. So there's this one, but there's also a video. I think if you, I wasn't sure if I could put the actual word on Instagram, and then I saw many other people do it.
Sometimes it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah, it's the Mrs. Claus one.
This one here. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, right there.
Gotta love it, man. You gotta love it.
I didn't say it though, Ralph. I didn't say it. I only wrote it, and I think that's okay, right?
Yeah, but it's true though. You put Christmas in July. I like the idea of Christmas in July only because it used to be that it will be only Christmas in July. Christmas has turned into this whole other thing.
And that's the whole point of the books. But it's funny. I was talking about my son, and he's doing these comic books, and I'm gonna, it's a segue into this anyway. He's got this character. It's called Jerry the Llama.
Jerry the Llama.
And it's really funny. And most of the time he goes to the gym, but he has these little details that are so funny. But then he did this thing. He's like, Jerry the Llama gets on the jets. And he's like, yeah, Jerry the Llama is going to go on the Jets, and he's going to be their worst player. And I said to him, dude, the joke is that he's their best player.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it. I was like, I know exactly where he's going with this.
Oh God!
And
That's so much
and this is
potential.
kind of like, and this segues into what I'm talking about, the Christmas in July. At first, I would just, like in years past, because these books have been around for a while, I was like, okay, I'm going to put, Santa Christmas in July. He's on the beach, he's drinking a Grolsch on the beach, Christmas in July. And then I was talking to my son and gave him that a bit of advice. And I'm like, no, the joke is that Santa is pissed off that there's Christmas in July.
Exactly.
Dude, this is his off season. He wants to be hanging out, drinking beer, shooting craps, checking. Exactly. So that's, and like I had this sort of, this came to me when I was talking to my son, who's doing all these comics. So, and it's like comedy 101. You flip the joke, you reverse it, and then it becomes. So I'm learning from him, and he's 9. It's actually 8.
I was just thinking about it because I was talking to Shadow Rabbit, and his son is actually he actually did his own comic, which he's probably going to be showing off at CradleCon. So
CradleCon,
both your kids on at the same time, and do like a special kids show.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Where's CradleCon?
Let's go for it.
Creative Aviation, man, it's one of the better cons out here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Never been to CradleCon? You should check it out, Cliff, because CradleCon, amazing. It's in the Cradle of Aviation. It's inside the museum. So, you have a museum and at the same time a con. And it's amazing.
Where is it? It's local?
It's in Long Island in the Cradle of Aviation.
Nassau County.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And when is it?
That's
Shadow, when
in like, I think in May is CradleCon, but they have other events there, like Festival of Games is coming up in December.
Yeah, I'll be heading there just to chill out.
It's coming off December 13th and 14th. Guess who's going to be there? Guess who's going to be tabling?
Oh, I'm going to have to put that out there because he's totally obsessed now. I mean, every day he's like making new comics, and then he brings them to school, and the kids want to read them.
That's great, dude.
That's great, man.
But he has like all these funny little details.
So Cliff, if you're free December 13th and 14th, or one or the other, head off to the Cradle of Aviation, and the fact that you'll be there means I'll do a video with you there. And we'll talk to your son.
You know what? That's what day of the week's that? That's probably the weekend.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Let me plan it to see. Let me see if I can make it happen.
Well, you got enough time. Let me know.
Yeah. Oh God, I never have enough time, but that's a different story.
Dude, I thought, crazy me. It's the end of the con season. I'm here going, you know what? I get a couple of months where I don't have to go to conventions. I've been to conventions. I was there. I was one last week, and I was one the weekend before. I'm going to be at a couple in December, and I'm like, does it ever stop?
It never ends, Lord. It never ends.
It used to be less.
Why?
What's that, James? I didn't hear what you said.
That's kind of what Santa's thinking about the Christmas. In July.
Exactly.
Stop.
Yeah, and it's like it's July. People, give it a rest. Don't.
It's funny that you were talking about things because I was just talking about this recently, and a lot of people they're like kind of burnt out on Christmas. There's this hatred that's happening towards Christmas, and I think it's this problem. It's the fact that Christmas is in their faces all the time.
Yeah,
it used to be that Christmas would come and it would last from like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and it will go into 2 weeks after January, and that's when Christmas would be. And it was fantastic. You got together with the family. It came, and it would take a while to show up, and it'll take a while to leave. Now all of a sudden it's August and it's Christmas already.
Yeah, and you know what? You tapped into the central satire of my books. That's it. I mean, I think I told you, right? I was doing I always remember this story. I mean, a lot of things happen at cons, but this, I had that Santa with the reins, a big poster of it on the table. He's angry as hell. And if you could probably pop that up while I'm talking about it. There's a video of that one.
I have that playing. Hold on, I'll put it right.
And then I'll finish the story. Maybe it's that one.
There. Oh wait, let me play it. I thought you were going to talk while it played in the background.
I mean, I could. He's got to do what he's got to do. And that's the thing is that, if it's really Christmas, the way you're talking about, the way you remember it, Ralph, he's all in.
Yep.
But when it becomes something else, and if it becomes that, and he's just like, I hate this, I hate my job, hate my life, I want to retire, I want to go shoot craps, whatever he wants to do, I want to go look at women on the beach.
Well, it's kind of interesting because, like, I think some of the best Santa movies of, like, maybe the last 5 years is basically that one guy who was it's called Violent Night or something like that. So it's like Santa Claus in an action movie. Like, so like all the other like really Santa stuff have been kind of disregarded towards like Hallmark. And so it's almost like certain people and certain content are actually creating this Christmas. People get really depressed because here I'm like September, you see Halloween starting in September all the way up to like November. And then once October ends, then you hit Christmas, and of course Thanksgiving gets knocked back. But
it's a whole, it's just, it's the commentary on the culture overall. It's just, I mean, what the culture has become is just, it's just sort of this consumerist tidal wave, and
exactly. And it's so funny because like when that happened, because like the whole thing is the November 1st, Mariah Carey shows up, she sings her song. So I was thinking,
this is all their fault.
This is what I want you to do, folks. This is what I was thinking. I want for next year, November 1st shows up, Mariah Carey starts singing, and all of a sudden Adam Sandler shows up out of nowhere and goes, "Not yet, lady. It's my turn." And he goes, "Turkey." Turkey for me.
Or starts singing the Hanukkah song, which is to me that's the greatest holiday song of all time.
I love his turkey song.
Well, this sounds like an Adam Sandler movie plot.
See, like I even mentioned, like Whamageddon is like if you hear Wham, you've been hit. Like it's like why?
So that picture.
That's what I want you to do next year. Have Adam Sandler show up and go, "Turkey time." All right, go ahead.
So that's okay. Yeah, that so there was a poster of that, and this girl, she was probably like 13, 14 years old. She walks by the table, sees that poster. It wasn't animated, obviously. She's like, "Is Santa a metaphor?" And I was just like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding. Here you go. You've got a book."
Don't you love it when the kid figures it out?
Yeah. And that's I guess that's sort of, I mean, I hate to say it's a message, but that's the heart of the satire. But in the end, they're Christmas books. Like how does this video end? Yes, he does. He's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah. See, but that's what I love about your story, about the whole Santaverse that you have. And a lot of people look at it and go, "Oh, this is a course, or this is this and this and that." But if you read the story and you're there for the story, and I've read them a couple times, and it has such a heartwarming Christmas message, especially all of them do. But the whole point of Cupid's Farewell Christmas is that moment where he allows Cupid to do what he does, and it's heartwarming. It's that moment. You don't expect it, you don't see it coming, especially because you're thinking like Andrew. You got these Santa Clauses that are killing people and doing this and that. You're expecting that, especially because Cliff, your book is supposed to be this type of Santa. But I like the fact that you put in this heartwarming message.
Well, the first picture of the book, the first illustration is Santa cleaning his gun.
Yep.
With brandy, with a bottle of brandy and a snifter in front of him, and the possibility exists. What's the one? There's one that you could play. Yeah, this one. It takes a lot of this. If you put.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I think that's it in a nutshell. He's got to put up with all this crap. If we think about the Santa or the Christmas verse that that we're in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all this shit, but in the end, he puts up with all of it so he can do this and bring us this. And that's kind of what you're saying, Ralph. I mean, that's what the books do.
It's heartwarming, and you don't, and I think because you're expecting something else, especially because you see him cleaning the gun and all this and that, you expect it to go a different direction, and when it goes into the heartwarming direction, it really brings it home.
Thank you. And it's funny. I always think of Chekhov, the writer, his famous line: if there's a gun on the wall in Act 1, it's got to go off in Act 3, and his gun does go off.
Yeah,
it just doesn't kill his reindeer. I won't spoil it too much, but yeah, he's got to shoot that gun, and he does. It's an act of self-preservation, basically.
I gotta say, folks, you gotta check it out. And if you're nice, maybe I'll do a little reading, where I read the story for you guys. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's because listen to that voice, that resonant. That resonant tenor of Ralph's. It's Santa. I've always said, Ralph, you're the audiobook man for this.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Audiobook is an interesting idea. My sister made me promise to make it one of my challenges is that I'll read the comic book, because she knows after what happened to me, my speech is slightly slower, and I'm very self-conscious. So she made me promise that. And hearing you read for Santa, that just makes me think about the fact that I'm dreading and hoping at the same time to get enough backers for that to happen.
I gotta say, I would love to see your book read, especially because you said it started off as you telling this story to your daughter.
Yeah, I before the summer I would have looked forward to it, and now I can't even think about what I sound like. I'm very paranoid about it.
Well, let me tell you
Sound
something,
fun, brother.
I have a lot of people don't know this, but I have a lot of social issues. What I do here isn't exactly easy for me. It is something that I do because I've been thrown upon this thing that is Bitten Apple TV, and I like what we do, and I wanted to make sure that it keeps living. But all this stuff that you see me do is stuff that I keep working on because I have a lot of social anxieties. And one of the things I figured out is the fact that I love William Shatner, and Shatner has that swagger and that stall. So I figured out that sometimes if I need to think about something, I'll give it a pause, and it just sounds like I'm being dramatic.
That's called smell the part acting, right?
It works, Ralph. It definitely works. You had me fooled all these years.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
And the whole thing is to do it so much that when the pauses do show up, it just sounds like it's what you do.
You just gotta own it, like Christopher Walken or something.
Exactly.
Make it your thing.
Wow.
For some reason, you got me thinking William Shatner out on the wing of the plane with the little monster.
Exactly. Dude,
There monster wing.
it's on the wing.
That's right. He had that cadence even then, right?
Oh yeah, he's always. It's gotten worse as time has passed, but he's always had it.
You just nailed it, though. It
Yeah.
sounded just like him.
I like the cat. I like Kirk. I like William, and I'm
Oh,
always with,
Kirk's the best.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Spock, yeah, you're woken mind.
I think the only time I didn't hear his cadence is when they shot him in a rocket. He saw the Earth and he goes, "Let's do this, everyone." I don't care. Like, dude,
I think you're right. That's the one time he was like, "I'm talking regular, folks."
he was like,
That's when you know crap's going down.
Exactly. So at the same time, you also have the story of Miss Claus Tells All.
Yes.
Because it's a trilogy of books, but right now you only have the 2.
Yeah, it's that's from Mrs. Claus. Well, actually, that's in both books.
Mhm.
That one's from Mrs. Claus with because the premise is all she's sort of responsible for some of this stuff that's now gotten out of hand. That's from Mrs. Claus because he says to her in all 3 books, the trouble, I guess, is that he wants to retire. So he's talking to her, and Mrs. Claus Tells All. That's from the first one. That's from Mrs. Claus.
Mhm.
That's from Mrs. Claus too. He tells her, I'm quitting. I'm getting back into movies. I'm moving. I'm selling the workshop, and I'm going back to Hollywood. I'm going back into movies or something. And that line or that picture where he's working out with the elves.
Yeah.
He's thinking that he's cut up. She says, well, she calls him Nicky in that one. She's like, well, Nicky, this one, you're not exactly Brad Pitt. And you can see in the background, there's the picture of Brad Pitt from Fight Club. In his mind, that's how he looks. And, so ultimately it's her job to get Christmas back online. And that's what Mrs. Claus is about. So she's the one who kind of runs the show, and he's basically, except for Christmas night, is going through an existential crisis basically most of the time. It's not in this video, but it's the one where where Sonny did the illustration of him staring in the mirror, looking to shave off his beard.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Mrs. C.
Woohoo! Oh, I know this video.
I haven't seen that one in a while. I'm glad that one. I'm glad that one still holds up.
Yeah, I think you guys did a good job putting these videos together. It really showcases what your books are about without giving away too much.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Claus, so she has her own like existential moment in the book. That she's, she kind of loves being married to an icon, but she wonders what it would have been like if she decided to go down a different path and embraced more of the naughty than the nice. And that's why she's on the beaches of Barcelona with topless.
I see somebody familiar.
Oh, there! Look at.
Oh my God!
Ho ho ho!
There it goes. I was like waiting for it. I was like, "Yeah, the book's coming. The book's coming." Oh my God, dude! You how did you go from here's the segue.
Okay.
How did you go from all this Claus stuff and decided to do what you're doing now?
Well, that's an excellent question. Actually, the question is actually in reverse. How did I go from this? Because a lot of this existed before or at least simultaneously. But there's a through line. There's a through line. Obviously, this is a book about, well, it's about an artist, and it's about sort of finding your right path in life. And that's where the good things happen, when you're on the right path. And I would say that the through line is that Santa's Santa. And if Santa's trying to do something else, he's not Santa anymore, and he's not gonna. It's not going to be right.
That's true.
So there's that as well. So that's sort of a central theme in A Death Never Lived. Is here's a guy who's a really talented artist, a young guy, in his 20s, but he's working at a pizzeria. He delivers pizzas, but he really, his big money job is delivering the cash from the gambling ring that runs through the pizzeria. And he really wants to be an artist, but it's kind of easy to stay in that other world when you're pulling in all sorts of cash. And and there's also like sort of the father-son thing. The owner of the pizzeria is sort of the father he never had, that kind of thing going on. But he meets this girl who's sort of his angel, Jesse Jordan. He's the artist, as it says. Well, as I said, I think there's music here too. His boss, Angelo, the father he's never had.
So I'll let you talk, and I'll play it later.
Okay, runs the operation from the pizzeria. Shady turns spooky when Teresa. So she's the dream girl, and she was coming into his dreams and manifests, like I said, from the pages of his art.
Great story.
But she says to him, she's psychic, and she's like profoundly powerful. She can leave her body. She can enter dreams. She can actually alter the future. She's that formidable of a psychic or spirit, she's that powerful of a being. But she tells him, she's like, you got to quit that pizzeria. You're not, do what the universe wanted you to do, wants you to do. Do your art. This is what you've been called to do. What are you doing? And it's going to be dangerous there. But he doesn't really listen to her. But he's, because he makes a lot of money, and he's attached to the owner because the owner really treats him well. The owner's like his father. But then she disappears and breaks his heart. But what he doesn't know is that she is manipulating. She's orchestrating the universe from unseen realms in order to get him onto the right path.
So is this book done, or are you still working on it?
No, it's out. It's available as we speak. The second one, which is called Dream Girl, is here we can watch.
Yep, lovely.
Well, yeah, so kind of everything I was talking about, that's what happens in the book. And the second, so that one's out. That one's my publisher we put it out on, what did he do? I think it was the 17th of October. So it's been out about a month.
No, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, at least
the whole story,
a Halloween time period.
Yeah, well, he wanted to do it. I mean, it took a while to get it out. But then we decided, yeah, it's sort of a Halloween book, so let's get it out for Halloween. But the whole story, I think I told you, did I tell you the story how we met? It was just so.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like
it has to do with both of them having the same. Your son and him having the same name, right?
But yeah, my son's name is Blake, and his name is Blake. When we were at the Yankees game, And my son got a baseball in this sort of like really surreal way. And we get onto the subway. And my son, there's a couple there, and it happens to be Blake and his wife. And my son says, "Hey, I'm at my first Yankee game, and I got a ball." And his wife's like, "I'm at my first Yankee game. I got a ball too." And it's like, okay. And so they're the best friends. And I'm like, "Blake, tell her about this. Blake, tell her about that." And Blake, my publisher, he's like, "Is his name Blake?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, my name's Blake too." And so so the conversation goes on. It turns out he's a poet and a children's book author. And he's got a book about a kid named Blake saving the moon from robots. And I have a book that's written but not illustrated, and it's called Blakey Fixes the Moon. So it's like, how many different, like, my uncle, one of them was, we were talking about my uncle. Yeah, exactly. He's coming tomorrow. He's a very strange person, but he's a certified genius. He got put into Mensa when he was like 5. And he's like this math genius. And he's like, "I couldn't even calculate the odds of that whole thing happening." So yeah, you're right. Ooh, it's like, and he turned out he's an independent publisher. He does 4 titles a year, and he did A Death Never Lived, and he's going to do Dream Girl's the second one. It's the one that's the story is told from Turia's point of view.
I'm waiting for the card set, because you have to do the card set.
It's so funny you said that. My son said it today, because I just made the video. There's it might be. Yeah, I think there's a video. I think I posted it with a lot of the cards, if you want to play that. But I was showing it to him, because I show Blake, my son, all the time these videos. He's like, "When the card's coming out?" I think, yeah, I put it out. It has that one that you saw has like 5 cards, or maybe 3 cards. The other one has like maybe 6 or 7.
Cards are fun.
The underworld.
But I gotta say, Blake Saves the Moon sounds like a murder mystery.
Blakey, well, I don't know what his is called. It saves the moon from robots, but mine is Blakey Fixes the Moon, and it happened. It's probably the one. It's the one with the poet.
Yeah, I was just looking through it, so before I started playing it. Hold on.
Yep.
That's a lot of cards. You definitely have to have a card set.
Yeah.
Well, you just convinced me. I never even thought about it. It's like it's a novel, but
you know what it is. And we've seen this, especially at the conventions, especially when you start doing conventions again. If you have the book there, the more swag you have for the book, the more people are like, "This is interesting."
You're right. You're absolutely right. And then eventually, I'm gonna really have time to sit and finish Dream Girl, which I was saying is the story. Not exactly the same story, but a lot of it's part of the story overlaps. It's from her point of view. Turia.
I like when people do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he signed me for 3 books, so I know the second book is like it's on its way. The third one, I got no idea. I don't want to think about it because it'll stress me out too much.
Don't do that too much, dude. Like that does sound like a perfect setting to make a tarot card set.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're supposed to look like. That's exactly it. They're supposed to look like tarot cards, because in the book, in A Death Never Lived, they wind up going to a tarot card reader. Like one of his delivery, he delivers pizzas and stuff, and she's driving around with him one night, Turia, when they're still before things kind of go haywire, and she vanishes. and manipulates his life. But they show up at he has this one person he delivers to. He's like, "You're gonna love her. She's the witch lady," and invites them in, and she's like, "Oh, you two are fascinating. I want to learn more about you guys. Your energy is great," that kind of thing. And she reads their cards. She reads their tarot cards, and the card, I don't know if people know the tarot cards, but the one that comes up is the heart with the 3 swords going through it.
Mm.
And she's like, there's going to be heartbreak.
Heart, 3 pentacles, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The 3 of swords. And so it freaks him out, and it's sort of a little bit of a foreshadowing of what's going to happen, because there is going to be heartbreak. She slaughters his heart. And it's not even a spoiler. She leaves. She's the last thing he sees is she puts him in a bathtub to cleanse him, because she's like a witch. She does these things.
Mm-hmm.
She's like going, and he thinks she's going to go in with him. She's like, no, I'm out of here. You're not ready. We're not ready. See ya.
You're on
And then she vanished, so his heart is broken.
Ah,
Well, you got to add some realism in there.
Exactly. I mean, it's not to say that the story ends there, but
the story don't end there, because that's a bad place to end.
It's a really bad place to end. People be walking out of the theater.
It's like, what the hell?
But but it was funny, because I think I told you, Ralph, I have it developed as a series also. I wrote the pilot, and I have it all sketched out, and I have a pitch deck, and all of that is sort of ready. But when I was writing it, it was and it's sort of a combination of A Death Never Lived and Dream Girl is the series, because I don't know what book 3 is. So I haven't thought about that. But whenever I was writing as a script, every time she was on the page, she took it over. She was like really just this, as powerful as she is in the story. To write her, she just was this presence.
That's how it is, though. Sometimes some characters want to take over whatever you're doing, and your job as a writer sometimes is to make sure they don't take over.
Yeah, and so it was. So that was really interesting, and it kind of really helped, because I wrote that, and that's sort of how I pitched everything to Blake, my publisher, because I had already written it as the pilot, and I had it all developed, because I always in my mind it was like, oh, this is really just feels like a streaming series, like Netflix or something like that.
Well, it has that total feeling, yeah.
Yeah, and so I said to him when I pitched it, first thing I pitched him was Blakey Fixes the Moon. He's like, well, it's good, but I got one like this, and it's not that good. But I still think it's going to be a good book one day. It's just he didn't want to do it, but then I said, well, I got something else.
Well, it kind of makes sense that he doesn't want to, especially because he's done something similar.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And he's a poet too, and he's not like into rhymes. He's into like slant rhymes. He's like, the rhymes are too heavy here. I like, and if you read his poems, they're like, it's like slant rhymes. That's what he, like near rhymes. So it's more like a songwriter kind of rhyming. But anyway, so I pitched him. I was like, I have this story, and it came from this novel I wrote, and I sort of have it set up as a series, but I'd love to have it all as a package. Would you read that? And he read it, and then he's like, well, I'm going to be away all summer, and I'll be camping and stuff, but I'll take a look at it. And then he wrote me from his camping trip. He's like, when I get back from camping, let's have a talk. Because and I was like, well, that must be good news. But really what happened, that the script really helped Dream Girl, because it's the second book, because she took over so much when I was writing the script.
Right.
That, and that was like really helpful to, because she does this crazy stuff in the script. You see her, she's on a bus. The whole thing, the story really starts, and you cut me off if I'm just talking too much, Ralph. He sees her in the past, and this happens in Death Never Lived, but this is how Dream Girl starts. He sees her in the past, and he draws a picture of her. He just is captivated by her. He sees her from across the room. But then when he goes to bring it to her, she's gone. But the portrait that he makes of her whines, she gets it. But she doesn't know who did it. And she's got to figure out who that is, because she knows that whoever drew that picture of her captured her essence, captured her soul, and will be the father of her child. And that's sort of the inciting incident, even though it happens in the past. But that's how Dream Girl, the book 2, starts. She
I feel like you sold it to us already. Just bring it out so we can buy it.
It will come. It's I'm building it, so it will come. But that's Dream Girl. That's book 2.
Oh my God, I love what you're doing. I love all this stuff, and that's why I wanted to show it off. And of course, we
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It is the beautiful Thanksgiving show, and we're thankful for all these beautiful things. And I love how the connection is going on here from James to Clifford, and of course, Andrew and myself were at Big Apple Con this Saturday, hanging out, having fun, and doing all the geekery stuff. And Andrew is a fantastic creator. You know what, Andrew? You tell them, give them the spiel. Go for it.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Andrew Frank Rodriguez from Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art, and I'm also have my own game company called Artists and Profit Games. However, this is the first book I ever made with a group of friends of mine who were playing. You know what I'm thankful for? I want to say this is a Thanksgiving episode. What I'm thankful for are these friends of mine. For 2 years, I had played this game with my friend Will Lotto, really excellent guy. My friend Steve Yap, Carl, and we were just like playing. We had all like Ray. We had all these great guys, and we were playing this game that my friend wrote in a big binder 20 years ago that he put away. And he's like, I want to play a Dungeons and Dragons game, but not really a Dungeons and Dragons game. So we were like, he goes, well, I have this game I'm writing, and it was loosely based on like old Capcom games and all these old like 90s like anime. So if you're really into that, he created this great world, and we were playing it, and it took us when they say it's a year of a campaign or 2 years of a campaign, that means for 24 months, every Saturday or every Sunday, we sat down, we played this game, we fleshed it out, we fleshed out the game mechanics, and we all was just really enjoying the game. We pretty much all of us built this game with like suggestion, but my friend Will was like the architect of this entire great game. And at the end, I was like, hey, Will. And Will wasn't married. Will was already married, but he didn't have a kid yet. So we were all young. We were all in our young, like late 20s, early 30s. And I said, Will, why don't you just write this game, publish it? I'll do some drawings. I'll do the interior art. Get some guy who does the great artwork for cover, and the cover is also based on the interior art that I designed. So I was kind of like the art director of all this thing. If you press that preview button, you'll see like the interior book of what it tells inside the book. Now I normally people know me as a map maker. So when you click the preview on Director RPG, my game is called Boss Rush 2001 Nations of the Mech Mechanoids. It's really long, but I think it's because it's kind of like that Japanese long title. So we did it's like a play on like old RPGs, old Japanese manga, and lots of hours of just like nerds really nerding out on our old stuff, like old games and old. What I love about it is we were playing, and my character was like, okay, what can I play? He goes, well, the whole world is kind of like a post-apocalyptic world where every place in the world has a sort of boss. that is like the lead, either the lead crime boss, or the lead president, or the lead social misfit, or the lead, but there's also every single section of this world has a main boss, and we had to actually go out and find them and fight them, and also take over territory. So
Right.
my character said, okay, well, you say this is a post-apocalyptic world, let my character play. I pretty much made like a character based on Lupin the Third meets meets like a retro Mega Man character villain called Gutsman. So I kind of made my Gutsman character, and I enjoyed it. And so we played this game for like to the point where we fleshed out an entire game, and I had art for pretty much like symbols of different factions, different monsters, different areas. And so we culminated. So we pulled all these like resources together. And we made our book. Like after he had it for 20 years, approximately 20 years, but it took us 5 years to really get this book made. And we're still selling it. It's getting great reviews. It has a copper award. We're heading towards our silver award. That means copies sold, people giving good feedback. And now we're now in the process of like pointing out different sections of the world and building those sections with their stories. Like right now, we're focusing on 2 areas called Dima and the Union, which is pretty much like post-apocalyptic. Think of post-apocalyptic LA, and think of like the old movies from like those old cyborg movies where it's like the robots have taken over, and so Union's kind of like that with like a mega corporations taking over, and Dima is kind of like a nature run amok with technology, with nanites really like infused. And the closest anime I could think about that kind of I could say Dima is, because you have all these like giant robots and like really heavy duty robots versus like this waves and waves of like these nano zombie spore monsters. So it's kind of like Knights of Sindona, if you ever heard of that one. Or
I know Knights of Sindona,
yeah, Knights of Sindona, or if you're really into like Blam. Blam is like another weird one. So like Dima's kind of like that. Like that area is like that. And I get to choose and draw them and write and create the maps for them and also the backgrounds for them. So this is for my other project. I'm doing my own game because Artists and Profit Games, I have my own company. So these are like me being there. Yes, this is me. Fortunately, knowing that I had a table already paid for, even though my bank said I didn't. So I was supposed to table at Brooklyn Comic Con. I mean, Big Apple Comic Con. Sorry, not Brooklyn. Big Apple Comic Con. And I think Ralph captures my stress mode right now. He captures it perfectly.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's right now. Like
It's coming. There it is.
It's me. Where's my table? But I didn't want to like put my stuff on a table that I didn't pay for. I didn't feel that was right. I had my I had one of my anti-shade case I could have just opened, but no. So like what I really want to do right now is focus on my own game company, because I've been developing different areas of my own game. Meanwhile, I'm working with Booster Protocol Productions, which is now the official name of my friend's company, and we're doing his game called Boss Rush. So I've been creating like these amazing worlds, and I'm not really good as a character artist. Like I could do it, but as a character artist, I've been like really trapped, I believe, in like really Dungeons and Dragons kind of like really game playing and really focusing on other people's like building thought. But when it comes to background, oh, those are my mom's. Yeah, I cleaned up my closet. My pop passed away, and I found his old Howdy Doody doll during Halloween season. So I was like, "Oh, hey, look, it's Howdy Doody time." Not, and it's no. It's not the season 2 like skin, but these are all these different. Okay, so let me go back. These are all these different lands that I've developed for my personal game, and also lands I've developed for other people's games, and lands I've developed for like maybe hopefully somebody would like get me a gig with like a book. So like right now I'm focusing on like 4 projects. One of them is paying out and one is mine. That's a product that I create. I make like little dungeon maps that people can put down. That's me at the Game On. I like that. Tom Sakara and Ray and Mike, Ray Felix and Mike Bill Gracia. But yeah, those guys were great. And I started tabling. So, you know, I after years of being a convention volunteer, I started tabling at my own event.
Yeah, that's how I met him. He was at a convention volunteering, and I was doing something for I think the other guys, and that's when I first met our pal here.
Yeah, I felt like I worked. It kind of feels like when you worked upwards, it's like when you work to the mailroom of a place, and now you're working in the industry. I always felt that, like that connection, that I kind of felt like I worked my way up. They weren't paying me or at all, but I feel like I worked up to like actually finally getting tables. So yeah,
Definitely did, dude. Dude, I remember you showing me your stuff years ago, and it was already so good. Like, what are you doing not tabling?
oh yeah, it literally took a friend of mine named Dennis. My friend Dennis, he grabbed my phone, showed it to Bob Camp, and Michelle Ford gave me the riot act. Like, she says, stop doing this. Like, you know, stop volunteering, start being here.
When
So
you
like,
finally showed up with all your maps out,
Oh
someone
yeah.
was telling me, like, you gotta check this dude out.
like, look at all my
And I
characters,
finally
all my
walked over. I
monsters.
was like, I know who this is.
And then it was like after that, I just been like, just drawing people's characters, drawing games. I like playing games. I not playing mind games. No, I like games, playing board games and playing like Dungeons. I like Dungeons and Dragon games. I like RPG games, tabletop RPG games. I love video games. I've always been obsessed with them. And some maps where I believe I would really critique like games if they didn't have a great map. Like, oh, great story, but there's no map to guide you anywhere. So I've always been that.
Miniatures are coming out pretty good too lately, man.
What?
Your models and everything are pretty
Oh
good
my
too.
God,
I painted 3 of them while you were talking. While everyone was talking. So these are like just scatter terrain, like just pillars that I've been drawing. But yeah, but this is me like going, just trying to tap into everything that I've been trying to. Like, sometimes sometimes they end up in a drawing, sometimes they just end up on my shelf. I hardly give stuff away, but I'm starting to. I hardly sell them, but people are telling me they're worth a lot of money if I do sell them. But yeah, and so this new game we're going back to Boss Rush. This new game we're developing with Booster Protocol. These are just, we're going to be focusing on a world book, which is just focusing on areas in which players can pick a zone and play. Fortunately, a lot of our early games was usually in, feudal, like futuristic Japan and, futuristic New York. and we started saying, "Hey, well, how does the other places of the world look like?" And so we started that game with the map of the actual world, our actual world, and the premise was I, as a map creator, got to destroy planet Earth with every single thing you can get, and then at the end, that's the map world we were going to play. I drew this beautiful kind of Mercator style map that was 1,000 years into the future. When we play tested it, people hated it. They just didn't like the fact of a future world so destroyed that it's almost alien, which is kind of weird. But
I have to ask you: have you ever played Palladium Rifts?
That's the first game I ever. Before Dungeons and Dragons, Palladium was the first Rifts game I ever played.
Yeah,
Rift was actually. I started playing D&D, not even D&D. I started with Rifts. Everyone usually starts with Dungeons and Dragons. I did not. I was the oddball who started with Rifts and played games.
Yeah, my gaming group was the same way. We started in Palladium, and we played through all that stuff. And I can very much see the Rift's influence and the post-apocalyptic landscape and stuff like that. I can see it.
Yeah, we all I started. Funny enough, I started playing Rifts, but the rest of my gaming company, they're a little like maybe 5 years younger than me, so they all started either in Scattered Lands, was it go Scarred Lands, and Scarred Lands was kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
Talking about another game company, but yeah, when I played Rifts, my God, I can go on with Rifts, but my character went to Mexico. Another character went to South America. My oldest character survived Atlantis and back. Went to another world. Woke up in England. Ended up almost dying in Rifts, China, and then woke up. Woke up one day and he was back in New York, and that's where the game stopped. Because that was I remember playing that game. I remember playing Rifts to the point where I knew every area, every zone. I've read every single world book, and so that wasn't even my suggestion. That was Will's suggestion. He said, "How about if I just take the areas and make different types of world books?" I saw it this is the actual conversation. I saw an old company do that back in the day, but I don't remember the name. And I was like, "You mean Rifts?" I was like, he goes, "I don't think it was. I think it was another company." I said, "You mean Scarlands?" That's everyone does world books, but the way he spoke was like I was feeling older. older and older, I was like, wait, that's right, you guys in your 30s, already in my 40s. It's kind of funny.
Another generation will do that to you
when you start playing these games. When what really started me playing these games was I was the only person in my whole entire classroom. I went to a Catholic school, and there was maybe 4 or 5 Magic the Gathering players, and we all got our cards deck confiscated because of Magic the Gathering, and then Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's also Magic related. And it's the 90s, so I thought the scare was over, but apparently not in Catholic schools. So after school, a friend of mine introduced me to this game called Rifts. I played a few sessions there in Brooklyn. There was a great gaming store and bookstore next to Galaxy Comics back in the day. That's in Brooklyn. Galaxy Comics in Brooklyn. But there was a bookstore a block over where they actually had you got to play games. and we met through there. So like all these influences were coming back. So like all this great ideas we were getting, this guy was getting from like, I saw this from another series of books. I want to do it like that. I was like, okay, so yeah, I could go on with riffs. I can go on with how like our game has, like I said, each boss controls a region, and that region dictated what the boss wants. So it kind of has that feel where your character gets to see different environments in the world. So we pretty much instead of doing a United States map, we came up with a more more natural map that we were, we really kind of made our own map at that time. So
sometimes that's what you got to do, though, because especially if you were getting that kind of a reaction from people, because people get kind of weird sometimes.
Well, yeah, because like there was like one region where South America had a storm that was, the storm was so big it almost looks like the eye of Jupiter around South America. People didn't like that. Parts of Spain were like craters. People didn't like that either.
It's funny that you say all that, and I understand because it's a game. But usually what ends up happening is, especially when I'm writing, because I tell people all the time, I'm not writing for anybody. If you like it, you like it. You don't like it, you don't like it. I don't care.
Well, no, like we were getting a lot of feedback on like, what was our reasoning for destroying these worlds like that? I was like, well,
the world got destroyed.
The world got destroyed. Russia got taken over by these nanites that look like they that turn people into zombies. America got destroyed to the point where the only thing that was left was one city, and it's pretty much New York City. And it became almost like a small mega block. It wasn't even a mega block. It was just like a small, tiny mega city. It wasn't like, it was kind of Judge Dreddish, but not. But
it was always amazing to me how people are, and like the more I see them with their fandoms, with Star Wars and Marvel and all this other stuff, the more you sit there and go, it doesn't matter what any of these people do. You're not going to be happy with whatever they do because you want what you want, and that's the only thing that you want. And the only way to please you is to give you what you want. But that means that other people won't be happy because they have a whole other idea of what they want.
You just defined the entire Star Wars franchise.
Well, I didn't like The Last Jedi. I didn't like them then. Oh, I don't care, man.
And it's so funny to me because if you talk to the guys, the first three movies came out. When the first three movies came out, people didn't like The Empire Strikes Back. People didn't like Return of the Jedi. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten this.
No.
Well, look, there are far greater things to hate. And later on, that definitely got shuffled into people's memory by.
Oh, definitely.
By way.
It's the funniest thing because you if you think about the prequels, they got so much hate when they came out, and then right now the way people talk about them, it's like they were the second coming.
No, yeah, but I was like
bad.
Yeah. No, when my friends were like, oh, but when I saw the prequels, they were kind of good. I said, really? You caused one of the actors to almost SA himself, exactly. And one kid who played the boy, he hasn't been right in the world since.
Yeah,
So do not tell me that BS. You understand? Like you. I feel bad for Star Wars, but I'm always that guy, and I think a lot of people could say, I remember when there was no Star Wars. We had the Christmas special, and we liked it, and
horrible.
I remember those times.
Oh my God.
The dark times when we had nothing, and then we had the Ewok series. Hush now, children.
And we loved it.
Every month, every summer, you get a new Star Wars, maybe 2 or 3 of them at the same time.
You
So
guys
Shadow
give a hit.
Rabbit, I know you've been quiet over there and you're taking care of things, but you know, tell the people who you are while I show off all your beautiful stuff.
I'm always here, man. You know that.
I know.
And I just wanted to say how, I mean, if we're talking about thankfulness, I mean, my stuff isn't as heavy as our other guys up here. You know, you've all been through a lot, but real thankful I get to hear these stories and share this time with you guys in the comic world and everything. It really means a lot to me. Anyway, hey, I'm Lewis, Shadow Rabbit, clay guy. Make little stuff out of clay,
Yep.
and yeah, hopefully you like it.
I gotta say, Shadow does amazing stuff, and if you guys want your dreams to become reality, hit up Shadow Rabbit. You know, I haven't shown off my Hugbert in a while, so I'm
No,
gonna show off my
I'm
Hugbert.
gonna check out our guys' stories here because those are very inspiring and yeah, sounded pretty awesome, man. I'm
This is my
really
teddy
looking
bear
forward to seeing
superhero
it.
here.
No,
Shadow Rabbit right there made my teddy bear superhero into reality.
so you called that clay. Is that clay or ceramic?
It is clay. I used to use a lot of oven bake like polymer clays. Now I use mostly epoxy putties,
Oh,
so like
Yeah,
AB mix.
God, I'm so bad with those.
Those I like them, man. I mean, for my particular
Oh, I like
anxieties, it works very well. You work quick, it hardens quick. You don't have to
Yeah,
bake it.
that's the thing I had to get used to.
Hmm.
Move quick.
Yeah,
I blame Shadow Rabbit for me building these now. So
dude, I
Yeah,
remember you coming up
he
to me
says
the
it all
first
the time.
time.
Shadow Rabbit got me to do this.
Nah, dude, you had that in you the whole time. I'm so glad. I mean, I love seeing the stuff you make.
Oh my gosh, Shadow Rabbit is the man. He will be at the Festival of Games, December 13th and 14th, and we shall be there as well. Checking out all
Can't
the
wait.
beautiful stuff. I love the Festival of Games. It is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Our friends from Hip Point, speaking of which, will be there as well.
Nice.
So it is going to be a party at the Festival of Games at the museum, hanging fun, playing, enjoying ourselves. Well, you know, Shadow's going to be doing some work, but he likes doing his little clay figures.
Yeah, I'll be around. Come up, say hey. Like you said, my son is going to be there trying to sell his comic, and
Yeah,
he'll be sculpting as well. So that'll be really cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Honestly, more so than doing pretty much anything else there. So,
exactly.
Dude, these look pretty good. I may
well,
have to bug you about making a teddy bear.
Ooh.
be my absolute pleasure. Patches,
I gotta say, I was
Yeah.
thinking about it. I'm
I
looking at
would
your
love to.
patches. Speaking of which, I'm looking at your patches on the Kickstarter, and I keep thinking, oh man, if Shadow could do a good job with
Yeah, he sure would. He sure
Yeah,
would.
I think he catch like the textures really well because he's
Thank you.
like all ratty and he's
Yeah.
got those bulging scars and stuff, and
Sounds
they
great.
look really good in that.
Let's see that. Let's look at
Love
Because
to
I
patches.
get
had
into
someone
that,
make
man.
me
There he goes.
yeah, I had someone make a plushie, and it came out pretty well. So that
Is,
might
That's
is
just
for
be
your
based on the
character,
real
right?
one. Is the real one as battle worn at this point as his avatar in your comic?
yes. He has both his eyes, unlike the patches in the illustration, but he's all tore up
And
from
loved
being
a
well
lot of
loved
years.
for many years.
It's great.
I don't even think she is taking care of him, but she is taking care of him. But he's freaking wow. She's I
That's what
think
happens to teddy
18,
bears.
and she
No, man,
found
those
him
things are
when she
special.
was somewhere around 3. So
Look at this.
she's literally had him 16 years. Yeah,
I gotta
that's
say,
what
I
I had
didn't know
to
you
do.
had a teddy bear tier.
Yeah, I do because I have a lady who makes these
He
plushies
looks
for me.
great.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Very
first
cool,
opened
so.
that box, I was like, "Whoa!" It was really mind blowing to see somebody else's take on him, and he was really well made. It was done by a very skilled creator who lives in Bulgaria. So
Whoa,
Patches is
awesome.
actually that Patches is.
Joseph says he loves the plushie.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Um, that
Dude,
plushie is actually
I'm
Bulgarian.
sitting here going, I don't think I'm gonna afford 250.
That's one of the problems is I have to get it from Bulgaria, which is now a
Oh
you
yeah,
know
and
big
with all the
challenge.
tariffs, this is cheap with all the tariffs.
Yeah, and he's like a one off when she makes them. She doesn't make like dozens of
Oh my
them.
god, talk about collector's item.
Yeah, there is one of those out right now, and
Wow.
a guy backed him on the first campaign, and I sent him off recently, and he sent me pictures of him, and
Oh,
that's a pic I took of him right before we sent him.
oh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, it came out well. It does pretty good, and he's big too. He's not like like a
Well, you got
keychain.
them right next to these snow globes, so he has
Yeah,
to be pretty big. Yeah,
yeah, they're like 5 or 6 inches, so
yeah.
he's a good foot. And
Dude,
and,
I
and
love this. Tell the people one more time where they can find you because come on, guys, you guys gotta help out our friend here, make his teddy bear guy come to life.
they can find me at angrybrainartworks.com. It takes you straight over to the Kickstarter, and I've still got a couple more rewards to announce, so there is more
Oh, nice.
coming.
You're on Instagram too?
I'm on Instagram, but I don't really use it as like
Okay.
it's got stuff on it. It's got uh images and other things that I post up. Thanks, Joe.
That's the last social media that I'm using. Once that's gone, I'm gone, man. Off the internet.
Yeah, when it comes to that, like I try to do things on TikTok too, like little animations and whatnot.
God bless you. I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. It's more like motion comics, and
That's pretty cool, though. I do like those.
yeah, and I try to do those as I'm doing pages, and I do speed draws where I show you where I am at. Like for example, this book is already finished, and the next book I'm on page 15,
Nice.
and I posted.
We love to hear
that. Dude, you want to? I had to teach myself the no kidding how to learn how to draw. When you go through a stroke, either brain damage, you
Yeah.
lose certain things.
Yeah.
So I had to spend the last 3 months relearning it, and then when I was finished, I roughed out the book while I was still trying to figure it out. And when I finally got control of my hand, because of all the therapy my wife worked on me with, and all the therapy the nurses worked on me with, I was able to do it again. So since then, I have knocked out 15 pages of book 3 and finished book 2. And
Oof.
the therapy itself is the only reason why I can do this. Because this book, the book 2, was supposed to be out back like in April, but things didn't go right at all, and then I had the huge health crisis, so I had to recover. And now I'm able to share how I got myself back to where I'm capable.
Yeah.
So it's you can see it in everything I did. So people respond back and tell me that I'm doing really good with the speed draws and stuff, but I try to post on Instagram those speed draws and on TikTok. So really that's what I tend to do is those two things.
So James, you say you have a website, right?
Yes, www.angrybrainartworks.com.
Do you have that link handy so I can be lazy?
It's in a private chat.
Did you put it in there?
Yeah, I did. That's how you pulled up the Kickstarter, dude.
Oh, dude, that is how I put the Oh, it's so funny. So wait, when you do the thing, it goes straight to the Kickstarter. I love when that happens because it gives it a better feel to it. Dirk Manning does that a lot with his books. It
Yeah,
goes directly to the to the website. Okay.
I believe Dirk was on Comics Launch and mentioned it, and then I learned how to forward it from there. And so it was one of the first things I did when I got better. It was start directing people from there to there. Because dude, I hate it when the Kickstarter link is like
Oh my God,
insanely
yeah,
long,
man.
and it just you can't keep that in your head. So
No.
you end up searching for the person, and you don't always find them.
Oh, believe me, like we do this show, and there's times where I'm back here trying to do stuff because the link, I don't have the links, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in an '80s movie. I'm like, if I can only.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody has to teach me how to do a link tree because I don't know what that is.
So, Cliff, why don't you tell the people one more time where they can find you?
Well, Instagram. Well, that's cupidsfarewellchristmas.com. There's cliffordevan.com, and then Instagram @_Clifford_Evan_.
There you have it, folks. You want to get his book. You want to get the Christmas book. Dude, right now, buy the Christmas book and Miss Claus Tells All and give it to somebody for Christmas. It's a heartwarming tale. It is an adult Christmas.
And here's a deal for you. If you buy the Christmas books and you put up a review, I'll send you a copy of A Death Never Lived.
Ooh,
signed.
That's a hell of a deal.
There you have it, folks.
So there you go. That is an exclusive here on the Written Writ.
So there you have it, folks. If you buy both books and we'll do a review, then Cliff will send you his new book, which is fantastic, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And you can find me at Clifford Evan at gmail.com, my name at Gmail. People are like, how do you have that? And I was like, because it's probably like the third Gmail address ever in history. That's dating myself. But yeah, you can reach out that way, and I will send you A Death Never Lived signed if you buy Christmas books and give me a review.
Yeah, folks, that's what you got to do. And speaking of which, I think I owe you a review. So I think I did a written one.
I owe you a Death Never Lived, Ralph. What's that?
I said I think I did a written one, but I got to do a video one.
I have to say I need to send you A Death Never Lived anyway. Blake sent me a box of books here, so I've got some to share the love.
There you have it, folks. Go check him out. Cliff is fantastic.
Thank you, Ralph. I am thankful for you.
Feel like you need to be the Christmas spirit, make sure you get yourself some Cupid's Farewell Christmas and Miss Claus Tells All. Yeah. Andrew, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me usually on my Instagram at Andrew Frank Rodriguez Art or Artist and Profit Games on Instagram. You can also just Facebook me on Andrew Frank Rodriguez. And my book with my perfect right now, I'm trying to get you guys. It's not going to be ready for Christmas, but I'm going to be me and my group from Booster Protocol Productions. We're trying to get you a bunch of world books so you can actually have different areas. But you can find me at Drive Through RPG. Of course, it's called Bus Rush 2001 XX and Nations of the. Why is it? Mechanoids.
Yeah,
it's a very long name, and hopefully after this, we're going to try to convince ourselves to write an Easy Kai tabletop RPG. But right now we're mainly focusing on the video game book and not the Easy Kai book. So hopefully by 2006 to 2008, we'll get you a couple of those books. And of course, we're that name of that book's gonna be even longer. So,
but that's how it is with those type of things,
Title.
It's funny that you guys say that. I like my long titles when I'm doing my vocal. And if you guys want to check out some Ralph writings and see how Ralph writes, you can go check me out at Vocal, because I do a bunch of writing there at Vocal, and you guys can see what Ralph is up to. I think I have a link here somewhere for you to check out some Ralph vocal stuff. I did have it. Where'd he go? Oh, there it is.
Hire him as a voice actor, damn it.
Oh, dude, if you guys want me to do something for your Kickstarter, a voice, you want me to read your book, dude, hire me. You know, I just helped out Charles W. Morgan with his book, Cold Cutter. So, folks, this is my latest story on Vocal. It is a little beautiful tale about a father, his daughter, the mother. It's a kind of creepy and heartwarming at the same time. But hey, that's what Ralph is, creepy and heartwarming. I'll put the link
have both
to
of
the
those
comment
titles.
section. There we go. Come on, computer. If the world was ending. There you go, folks. You can go check it out. If you ever wondered how Ralph writes, well, you can either do that or go buy my beautiful story in We Suck at Comics. And right now, I'm working on a Hugbert piece for We Suck at Comics. So you might get a preview to Hugbert in We Suck at Comics before we do the Kickstarter for Hugbert, which should be happening soonish.
There you go.
And I think that is everything, folks. I hope that you've loved our Thanksgiving beautiful show here today. I knew it was going to be 2 hours because every time we do a special, that's about the time it is, 2 hours. And I got to say, there's been some great conversations. We've talked about some beautiful stuff. Go support all these beautiful people. They do amazing work. And, 10 years ago, in October, we sat down at a diner, TikTok diner in New York, by the way, and we said we wanted to show off all the beautiful things that people do. And for 10 years now, we've been doing that. And I wouldn't change any of it. One last thing. Of course, you guys are wondering what happened to the Wham stand. And the Wham stand is still going on. I ran into some issues with the whole little thing only because I do suffer from depression, and sometimes doing things gets a little difficult. But I'm going to extend the contest. We're going to push it a little bit further down. I'm going to do a video so that you guys can do more voting. There's already a video on the site where you can vote for your favorite podcaster to win this beautiful mic here, of course, from Wham Stand, because Wham Stand is the man's, and they can help you show off your stuff, whether at a convention or at your house. And of course, folks, if you're looking, this is a wireless mic holder, but it turns it into a beautiful, all professional Wham Stand mic. So in the comment section here, you can nominate your favorite podcasters, and you nominators will also be thrown into a little thing, and you will win some Wham Stand swag yourself. I'm giving it all away, folks. Come on. Just call me Crazy Eddie. And I know there's a bunch of people out there right now. Who the hell is Crazy Eddie?
I know who Crazy Eddie is.
Yeah, I know.
Those
Oh,
of us
yeah.
on the West Coast only hear
We're dating
rumors
ourselves.
about Crazy Eddie.
Exactly. So, folks, have fun. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Remember to not stress yourself out. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Because these moments will be gone, and in the future, they're the moments you'll be thinking about.
I can testify that.
Right, folks? With that, I'll do what I always do on this show. I'll press the button, and where it stops, nobody.